Many would agree with the fact that our country as a whole has grown to be more diverse than it ever has been before. Yet, some United States neighborhoods remain less diverse than others. So, who are the people that live in these diverse neighborhoods? Are they upper class, lower class? Are they college graduates? Are they white or black? What characteristics of a person affect what kind of neighborhood they live in? This is an important topic because although the lack of diversity in United States neighborhoods has seen improvement over decades, the history of America's segregation has had residual effects that still exist today. Based on the literature I reviewed, in the average neighborhood where white residents live, racial diversity seems to be far less common. On the other hand, most Black and Latino or Hispanic residents have continued to live in neighborhoods where whites represent a smaller presence than in their larger community. This leads us to question if the issue is due to race, regional areas, or possibly socioeconomic status. What my research has focused on are a few characteristics that could be playing a role in what kind of neighborhood a person lives in. More specifically, I analyzed these differences through my research question: how does socioeconomic status, which could be education, class, or income, region, and race determine someone's neighborhood diversity? So starting off in the middle of my poster, the data I used was from the General Social Survey of 2018. This is also known as the GSS. So what the GSS sampling procedures consist of is a 90-minute in-person interview with randomly selected participants every year in order to analyze shifting patterns of structure and social change throughout the United States. The variables or categories I focused on were neighborhood diversity, which was my dependent. My independents were education, social class, income, race, and region. Based on the literature I reviewed, I came up with 3 hypotheses which can be seen on your left in the first box. The first one is that there is a relationship between education and one's neighborhood diversity. The second one is that social class and income are negatively related to one's neighborhood diversity. And the third one is that there is a relationship between race and neighborhood diversity. The way I put this to the test was through data using logistic regression. The overall results of my research is that my findings did coordinate with the literature I reviewed, but only for race, therefore confirming my hypothesis that there is a relationship between race and neighborhood diversity. What was calculated is that a person who is Black, your chances of living in a diverse neighborhood go up 580% when compared to a person who is white. And that was controlling for socioeconomic status like education, income, and class, and region. This finding was statistically significant at the 0.05 level. And what that means is that it is highly unlikely that this result is due to chance. I found no statistically significant findings between any other variables I mentioned. And what that indicates is that when it comes to determining someone's neighborhood diversity, most differences like someone's education, social class, income, and or region do not explain the racial differences in neighborhood characteristics. Blacks are still significantly more likely to live in diverse areas compared to whites solely based on their race. So on table 2 of my poster, we see a pie chart that shows the results of asking each respondent if there's any opposite race living in the neighborhood of which they currently live in. So as we look at the results between whites and blacks, we see that many more blacks answered yes when compared to white, correlating with my results. So why is this important? Well, the importance of integrated communities is because diverse neighborhoods can offer others access to connections pertaining to public resources, education, and employment. Segregation can affect many aspects of one's life and is more likely to have profound consequences for people of color. It is clear that whites have a locational advantage over people of color, and neighborhoods that are segregated lead to many issues, including negatively impacting health, high infant mortality rates, lower home values, isolation from opportunities, barriers to achievements, and school segregation, just to name a few. Collectively, the consequence of neighborhoods remaining less diverse than others causes unequal socioeconomic outcomes. Our nation and societies as a whole should take action in battling to make sure every person lives in a diverse neighborhood so we may all enjoy the benefits of a vibrant and diverse society. If you have any questions regarding this research, feel free to hashtag COSS Diversity or Fresno State Diversity on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook.